Jungkook closes his eyes, mentally cursing himself and Mr. Kim gift when he decided to come home. Because he hadn't embarrassed himself enough. It seems there's even more ahead every minute. Boyfriend Jungkook grandma suddenly freezes, and in the next moment, she looks over Jungkook's shoulder, noticing the unfamiliar figure on the couch. And who is this young man? He's not that young. He's 36, Joya cheerfully shouts, and Jungkook groans, hitting himself on the forehead in disappointment. What a damn evening awaits him. So, Taehyung, what keeps you busy during the weekdays? Martha, Jungkook's grandmother, sits in the armchair right next to Taehyung, holding a cup of tea, while everyone else enjoys the desserts that the man brought, using them as the sole reason to step into the Jian household. They work together. Jungkook's mom answers for Taehyung, and he, biting his lip in awkwardness, nods. Oh, so you're a banker? Yes, something like that. I work with money, Mom. Jungkook plays with the crumbs, suppressing a laugh, and instead reaches for the box of cupcakes on the coffee table, selecting one with the most appealing frosting. Fortunately or unfortunately, now all the questions are directed at Taehyung, not him, so at least he doesn't have to sit here and try to lie to his own family. Because, as known, he's not that good at it. So you and Jungkook met at work? Yes. Exactly there. Mom, do you work in the same department? Grandpa decides to add his question, and Jungkook lets out a silent chuckle, ignoring Taehyung's gaze on him, and simply licks a bit of frosting off the cookie cap. Unfortunately, we handle slightly different things at work, Taehyung vaguely answers. Oh, you know, Taehyung is much closer to our heads than I am. Jungkook doesn't notice how this comment slips from his lips. And when Taehyung turns to him, Jungkook smirks. Our boss is such a jerk, by the way, isn't he? So obsessed, he restrains a smile, watching the man's reaction, and Taehyung, clenching his jaw, nods. I wouldn't say he's obsessed. Our boss is a wonderful person, he just always expects more from Jungkook. Taehyung smirks, noticing how heavily Jungkook swallows. Two can play this game. Then he looks back at his grandmother. He says Jungkook has tremendous potential. We just need to help him lay bare. Jungkook inhales sharply, not expecting to hear such words, and Taehyung turns to him again. Is everything okay, sweetheart? Come on, you know it yourself. He always says you can do more. I'd listen to him, baby. I think he wouldn't deprive you of his attention in response to good work. Is Jungkook doing well at work? Grandma innocently asks, completely oblivious to the underlying subtext of their words. And, what did Jungkook say about not being bothered by their questions anymore? Forget it. Now he wants to sink through the ground again. Oh, he's doing wonderfully. Our boss considers him the best in his field. I think if Jungkook just puts a little more effort, if he fully dedicates himself to his work, he can have everything he wishes for. Jungkook coughs, silently praying to God that none of his family members realize what they are talking about. Taehyung, turning to him again, looks at the young man with a smile. Isn't that right, sweetheart? You heard him say it yourself. Jungkook swallows, frozen with a half-eaten cupcake in his hand. Taehyung laughs as if he said the most harmless thing in the world. And then suddenly, he reaches for Jungkook's face. You got a bit messy, the man shrugs, and unexpectedly, Jungkook feels his big thumb wiping cream from the corner of his lips, and then Taehyung brings it to his mouth, licking it off. He does it so naturally and unobtrusively, as if it happens all the time. And as if, damn it, it's not too big a gesture to perform in front of his family, groans, whose attention didn't miss this either, and all the adults start laughing at her reaction. Everyone except Jungkook because his stomach is about to turn inside out. But Jungkook's mother, for some reason, finds this gesture quite appropriate, smiling in admiration as Taehyung turns back to her with that seductive smile. Oh, words can't express how happy I am that there's such a wonderful man with Jungkook now, she laughs, leaning slightly towards Kim, and suddenly pats him approvingly on the cheek. You're such a sweetheart, Taehyung. Make sure to visit us again. Admittedly, this still throws Taehyung off. Well, to put it mildly. And if to say it as it is, Taehyung is used to being the one who pats someone on the cheek, not the one to whom this gesture is directed. But now, looking over his shoulder, he locks eyes with Jungkook. Such a sweetheart, Jungkook whispers with mocking lips, perfectly understanding the man's reaction to what just happened, and barely holding back laughter. Alright, Jungkook thinks, maybe all his suffering was worth something after all. Right now, Mr. Kim's perplexed face is overshadowing everything he has been through in the past few hours. And only much later in the evening, when Jungkook's grandma and grandpa leave for the neighboring town where they live because there's no spare bedroom in the house, little Lee's already sleeping in her bed, and Joya, who was also sent to the kids' room, is probably lying in her own bed scrolling through her phone. Jungkook decides it's time to tidy up the mess left in the room. Getting up and leaving Taehyung sitting on the couch with a cup of tea, he starts gathering the dirty dishes from the coffee table. Baby, I'll help you, his mom says, getting ready to remove the blanket from her legs, but Jungkook shakes his head immediately, stopping her. No, no, no. No need, Mom, please, relax. You've worked a lot today, Jungkook. Mom, really, it's okay. I can handle it myself. Taehyung puts the cup on the table and stands up. Indeed, Mrs. Jeon, don't worry. I'll help Jungkook. The woman sighs, giving in, and settles back. Taehyung, putting on that inexplicably joyful smile for Jungkook, collects the remaining dishes and goes to the kitchen following the boy. And only now, being alone for the first time during this endless evening, Taehyung sees how truly tired Jungkook seems. So, where's the dishwasher? He stands in the middle of the kitchen with a stack of dirty dishes in his hands, and Jungkook, who left exactly the same stack near the sink, looks at him with a raised eyebrow. What, seriously, what did I say? Are you making fun of me, Mr. Kim? Jungkook snorts, approaching him, and suddenly, with a sharp movement, takes the dishes from his hands. Can't you see for yourself how my family lives? And you, for heaven's sake, asking about the dishwasher? He grimaces, then, turning around, goes back to the sink, quickly putting on rubber gloves and turning on the tap. Only now, watching Jungkook start washing the dishes with his own hands, does Taehyung realize what a foolish thing he said. A foolish thing that hurt Jungkook. Sighing, he approaches closer and stands to the left of the boy, leaning against the kitchen counter with his Baby, listen. I didn't think about it. Sorry. I didn't mean to mock you. I promise. It's just that having such things is so commonplace for me that I didn't even, you didn't think that someone could live differently. Yeah. I get it, Mr. Kim. Excuse me if you expected that, working in a place like your damn club, and for money in front of men, I live better than I actually do, Jungkook. I didn't mean anything like that. Let's drop it, please. Jungkook sighs, rinsing a plate. Get a towel, he snorts, handing the man a plate, and Taehyung looks at it confusedly, not understanding what he should do. How long will you stare at it for? It won't dry itself from your gaze, Mr. Kim. Get a towel, Taehyung chuckles, attempting to ease the tension. Alright. Towel coming right up, he grabs a nearby towel, pretending to polish the plate with exaggerated flair. See, a drying magician at your service. Jungkook can't help but laugh tiredly at Taehyung's theatrics. Magician, huh? Well, make yourself useful then, Mr. Kim, and let's get this done. However, for Taehyung, there's nothing left but to glance around, and damn well start drying the dishes. He's doing it for the first time in his entire life. Yet, he's unlikely to tell Jungkook about it, not wanting to give his boy another reason to tease him. Instead, as he continues drying each subsequent plate and cup handed to him by Jungkook, the man decides to shift the topic a bit. Your family is very sweet, Jungkook smirks, arching an eyebrow. Is that about the moment when my grandma called you sweetheart and patted your cheek? Or when Lee smeared you with cake icing? Or when Joya stopped making her silly comments, including those about your age? Which of these, may I ask, do you find sweet, Sir Taehyung grins. I thought you enjoyed calling me by my name. Thanks to you, my family now thinks we're dating. I didn't want to explain to them why I address my so-called boyfriend as Mr. Kim. Oh, sir, well, it was the first thing that came to mind. Probably the only thing that would explain my presence to them. Also, Jungkook snorts, then, with a quiet sound, claps the edge of the sink, looking at Taehyung a bit offended. The first thing that came to mind? And what if my family didn't know that I prefer men? Or what if they were too conservative, and it would seem wild to them that my damn boyfriend is almost 40? Just what if, Mr. Kim? Why didn't you think about all this when you said what you said? Taehyung exhales loudly, putting down another plate he just finished drying, adding it to the stack of similarly clean ones. He takes a step closer to Jungkook, standing behind him, and places a hand on his waist. Well, luckily, none of that happened, he whispers over his ear, but Jungkook just snorts again. I'm sorry, truly. I didn't think about it. But, on the other hand, it's not far from the truth, and, don't even think about continuing, the boy protests, grabbing another cup to wash. And what the hell have you stirred up there? What have I done?